everyone. I'm Dana with Imagination Paint, and I'm so happy to have you join me today. Thank you so much to everyone who left me comments and questions on the video from Monday. Y'all are so awesome. In Monday's video, we talked about the Spirit Painter opportunity and how we can grow closer to God through art, alongside our like-minded sisters to help relieve stress and anxiety and depression, and any other struggles in order to grow and find purpose in our lives. I shared a few personal experiences, such as the loss of one of my best friends and the 2 miscarriages that we went through, and how God has used those situations to push me into my calling and purpose of helping other women who are broken and struggling themselves. I also shared about how art has always been an outlet for my pain, and how I am passionate about helping other women find their creative outlet to heal their spirits from past hurts so that they can move forward to become the women that God has called them to be. Again, I'm not a therapist or counselor. It is by divine appointment that I'm doing this. When God tells you to do something, you do it, and I just really feel that God has placed a calling on my life and wants me to share what I've learned through my personal experiences and through art. Today, I want to talk with you about how we can take action that will make a positive impact in our lives and bring about the change that we are looking for. Many women have shared with me about what they need most in their lives right now, and as well as what they're struggling with. Among the top answers were needing peace, a closer relationship with God, ways to deal with stress, anxiety and depression, and a sense of community and belonging to build new friendships. There are many other things listed, but those were among the top of the list. I want you to think about what is lacking in your life. What do you feel like you need most right now? What are you struggling with right now? And what would support look like to you in making progressive steps to improve these things? I can really relate to these thoughts and feelings, and I'm sure it's something that every person probably experiences at some point in their life or another. But sometimes it can feel more difficult to get through if you feel like you're facing it alone. In a world full of noise and chaos, it's hard to find a sense of peace, especially with social media where everything is in your face all the time. Everyone's opinions and judgments are out there constantly filling up our news feed, or the exact opposite, where everyone's perfect little life seems to be plastered all over. However, it's an illusion. You see what others want you to see in the media. It's really difficult to discern what's real and what isn't. If you aren't careful, you can make yourself feel worse because of what you're consuming on a daily basis. And this is why it's so important for us to make an intentional decision about what we're going to choose to feed our minds each and every day. Monitor your intake of news. Try to keep the negative stuff out of your news feed. If it's not lifting you up, why do you need it? It's not serving your mental health in a positive way. And so if it's not serving you a positive purpose, then why allow yourself to be exposed to it constantly? That's not to say that you'll get rid of it 100%, but you should control what you can, and the rest leave up to God. Weeding out the negative things in your life will help you find a sense of peace that you've been missing. And another way to help your peace as well as grow as your relationship with God is to start plugging into Him every day. Whether you have a conversation with Him through prayer, or you read your Bible for 5 to 10 minutes, read a short devotional, or listen to praise and worship music, or even find an uplifting sermon on YouTube, anything that you can do to build that relationship with Him each day will help. And if you start the first 5 to 10 minutes of your day with Jesus, it will make the biggest difference in your day. I promise. Do it for a week and just look back and you will notice a difference. It makes you feel stronger throughout the day, and like you can take on way more because you know He's right there fighting your battles alongside you, and you aren't going through your day by yourself. He's right there. It will completely change your mindset, and you will start feeling more encouraged. When actively doing these things to grow closer to God and to attain peace, you will find that your stress, anxiety, and depression won't be as significant. I'm not saying it will completely go away because there's always going to be triggers out there and everyone is still going to go through hard times at some point. But by being intentional in doing these things, you will start to feel the weight lift and these things won't hit so heavily on such a constant basis. I know I shared the other day about how painting has been a form of self-therapy for me. It may not be painting for you. It could be something else that you're really passionate about. Maybe you love being creative and doing other things, or even cooking or playing music. But whatever those activities are, whatever it is that fills your heart with joy, that is exactly what you need to be doing on a consistent basis. I know everyone stays so busy these days, and we have to find a way to balance being a mom or a grandparent or a wife and a career and whatever else we have going on. But I can't stress the importance enough of making time for yourself and taking the time to do these things for yourself. Even if it's just once a week and you have to schedule 30 minutes to an hour or even 2 hours to just do something that gives you that mental break from everything else going on around you, you need that time. Your spirit needs that break to be fulfilled and refueled. And God gave you these gifts and desires for a reason. You're meant to use them. We're not meant to hide them. I went years without painting. And every time I did pick up that paintbrush, I realized that I had lost an important part of myself by not honoring what God had put in my soul. And now that I'm teaching paint parties, it has forced me to paint every single week. And this has helped me to deal with things so much better. I can't imagine what this pandemic would have been like had I not had my paintings and paint parties encouraging other people to focus on. I probably would have been a huge wreck. We need these positive distractions. It's just too much out there not to. And the one place the enemy tries to take over is in our minds. And that's the place that we have to protect. So we have to work extra hard to be sure that we are filling that space with positive things on a regular basis. This brings me to the need for community and a sense of belonging. We all need friends, and when we are climbing mountains and making life-changing decisions and are actively in the middle of those changes, we have to have support. We need to surround ourselves with like-minded people, and something that I was taught over the years is that you have to surround yourself with the people that you want to be like. Do you want to be around people who are going to bring you down, or do you want to be around the people who are going to lift you up? Because you have to surround yourself with those people. Who you surround yourself with has a bigger impact on your mentality than you realize. And sometimes God has a way of bringing the right and wrong people in and out of your life. He may close the doors to relationships that you've been having a hard time closing yourself, because he knows it's time for you to break away from something toxic or unhealthy. And just the same, he will open another door, letting in a new relationship with someone who is going to lift you up and to encourage you to be better. It's necessary as a part of change to make these discernments and to realize who you should surround yourself with. I want you to think about the top 5 people that you hang around and talk to the most. When you have them in your head, I want you to answer one question. Do those people lift you up? Or do they bring you down? If they lift you up, then you should be talking to them frequently. But if they're keeping you down, it may be time to cut some ties. You're as good as what you let into your life. Don't let the negative be what holds you back from reaching the positive and receiving God's blessings that he has prepared you for. He has so much more waiting for you. And in order to get there, we need positive influences to lift us up and encourage us each step of the way. That's why it's important to surround yourself with like-minded people who are looking to achieve the same goals. If you wouldn't trade places with them, then stop listening to them. It's that simple. Choose your friends and community wisely. And when you do, you will belong and you will feel supported. Several of you have been asking me some really great questions, so I just wanted to take a few minutes to go over some of those. One question was, what if I can't make it to the live events in the group? Well, the great thing about being online is that it gives us the opportunity to either pre-record videos and to have a replay as an option. So if for any reason we have a live virtual event in our group and you aren't able to make it during the exact time that it's going on, you can always go back and watch it when it's convenient for you. Of course, I'd love for you to be able to be there if it's possible for you to be, but if not, that's totally fine too. This is great for busy ladies with busy schedules who need the flexibility to fit this in where it's suitable for them. The other great thing is that we will have posts that we can comment and mingle with each other throughout the week and just really focus on building those new friendships. So it's not going to be just limited to the weekly activities that we do together. We will still communicate with one another in our group too. Another question that has been asked is about the schedule. A lot of people want a better understanding of how this works. I have a schedule made for each month. On the first Monday of each month, I will release a member-exclusive painting tutorial. This may be either a live teaching or a pre-recorded video. The second week of the month is known as Inspiration Week. During this week, we will focus on exactly that, getting inspired. I may do a Bible study, we may have an inspirational guest or a speaker who speaks motivationally or shares their testimony, or we may even have a guest artist who comes on and shows a form of art besides painting that has helped them to relieve stress and find peace as well. So these may also come in the form of a live presentation or a pre-recording. And then the third Monday, our second member exclusive painting will be released. I will either be teaching it or I will have a guest artist teaching. It's going to be so much fun having that option to just learn from others and hear from people besides myself. I love diversity and learning more than one way of doing something, and I just really believe that God uses others to bring things to the table as well. So I'm excited to share some of my fun artist friends with you. And during the fourth week, we will have Creative Week. During Creative Week, we will focus on catching up on whatever you may be behind on. You can use it to breathe and just be creative in your own way or to relax. And if you need a break, you're welcome to step back and take that break. Or if you practice your creativity, we welcome you sharing anything that you do during that week in the group to help inspire others. In months that have 5 weeks, I will often give you that extra week as a second creative week. So as this grows, we may even add in some extra things. So be on the lookout and feel free to share your ideas. We are always looking for new creative, fun ideas for this experience. Others have been asking about the personal and spiritual growth aspect of this. How can they overcome anxiety and depression? How can they get more motivated and stay focused on God in order to grow closer to Him? What I have found is that it's really difficult to work through these things alone. It's not impossible, but it is harder. We often need the support of others to make these changes in our lives. That's what the community aspect of this experience has been so important to me, because I know how hard it is personally to keep going when you feel like you're doing it alone. When I experienced my first miscarriage, I felt so sad and alone at first. And when I shared the news and had so many women come forward telling me that they understood and had been through the same thing, it meant so much to me. It's almost like a switch flipped in my mind, and it just made me realize that I wasn't by myself, even though I felt like I was. And there's just this power in having a sisterhood, there to have your back and to back you up when you're struggling. And we just need that consistent encouragement. I've never been one to enjoy doing things by myself. I like to have fun and to do things with others. And what's more fun than having consistent paint parties and learning spiritual growth together than with a group of friends? It's kind of like working out. It doesn't last very long if you're doing it by yourself. But when you have that friend there beside you to encourage you to push through and do it, you're a lot more likely to stick with it and make it a habit and way of living. Now, the other thing I want you to know is this. This works when you show up. You're going to get out of this what you put into it. So the more you participate and communicate with others in the community, the more you will get out of it and the more you will grow. And as you get used to being there, step out of your comfort zone and add value yourself. I welcome people making their own inspiring posts and going live to share their stories and just to even share, what's going on in their life. The more that we share and are open with each other, the more we can inspire others and who may be dealing with similar things. We will help each other. On Friday, I will go over how all of these things we've talked about can help you move into your purpose. Each of us have God-given gifts and a purpose, and we will discuss what learning about those things looks like. I'm so excited to share a bit more of my personal story with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today, and I hope you're feeling encouraged and that God is showing you that you have more inside of you than you realize. I love to get your feedback or help answer any questions that you may have. So please be sure to comment on the video post and I'll be sure to respond. Have an amazing day, and we will see you on Friday.